Tryston Beyrer, agronomist with WinField United. Today I'm out in the alfalfa field, first week of September, and wanted to think about what we can do to get this alfalfa ready for bed. First thing is you should be taking your last cutting of alfalfa by the first week of September, because if we get later than that, we subject the plant to increased injury for over the winter where it doesn't have enough energy to put down in the root systems. By taking our last cutting the end of August or the first week of September, based on typical frost dates, we'll have enough, 400 or 500 GDUs to get the plants up tall enough and put enough energy back down into the root system. So that should be done. The other thing I think about is fall fertility. Over the course of the season, we've had some pretty good haymaking weather, and the alfalfa requires a large amount of nutrients per ton. For example, potash, 60 pounds of K2O per ton, and with the typical average 5 ton per acre, there's some growers that are producing much more than that. That'd be the equivalent of 100 pounds or per ton of potash, or 500 pounds per acre that's needed just to replace what's being removed, not let alone what we need to do to build the soil test values up. The other thing you might notice in this stand behind me is this was actually partially sprayed with micronutrient, maximum boron, as well as some fungicide and insecticide on the outside rounds. So right where I'm standing, or on the right side of the flag, you might notice it's a little darker green color compared to the center part of the field that was not applied and is a little bit more pale yellow. As I bring these plants up, you might see the difference. The outside rounds, we have darker greener leaves compared to that of the paler leaves. Might have a little bit of boron deficiency, as well as we see a little bit of more leaf spot on some of those plants where without the proper nutrition, plants are just a little bit more vulnerable to disease in general. And the reason that we discuss this is fungicides, insecticides, or nutrient programs and management systems really help retain those leaves. The leaves are what's getting us the quality in alfalfa. Typical leaves have about 400 relative feed value, whereas the stems are only about 60. So if we can retain more of those leaves, keep them healthy on the plant through harvest, will allow us to get higher quality alfalfa. So when you're looking at getting your alfalfa ready for bed this winter, you make sure you're taking proper timings of your last cuttings, as well as really look at your fertility programs. Take some tissue samples or soil samples to assess where your nutrient levels are, so that you can either make applications this fall or be prepared for this next season when the plant gets off to a great start.